I'm going to be honest right now, all I can smell at the moment is WD-40. I've got my bike like right next to me and it's just... good morning everybody, welcome back to the Morning Bible. Hopefully it's fine to breathe all this stuff in because I've been sleeping with that smell in my room all night, so it should be okay. We are back, Luke chapter 15. We started off yesterday with the parable of the lost sheep, where Jesus talks about going and you have a flock of 100 sheep. Sorry, I'm already a bit brain dead. You have a flock of 100 sheep and you leave 99 of them there so that you can go and look for the one sheep that's missing. You know that the 99 is safe in their field, and so you leave them there in their field and you go out into the wilderness, into the difficulty, and you rescue that one sheep. And he's saying that's what his relationship is like with us, and that's what God's relationship is like with us. God will come and reach out to us even when we've strayed, even when we've wandered away, and that Jesus came down to earth not to reach the people who were already okay, who already had a relationship with God. He came to reach people who were far away from God, who were suffering and who needed rescuing, people who are lost in the wilderness. And so today's passage is a very similar vein. We are looking at the parable of the lost coin. It's a much shorter one, but it continues straight on from what Jesus was saying, as you'll be able to see when we start. So it's chapter 15, verse 8. It says, "Or what woman, having 10 silver coins, if she loses one coin, does not light a lamp and sweep the house and seek diligently until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbours, saying, 'Rejoice with me, I have found the coin that I lost.' Just so, I tell you, there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner who repents." So, like I said, really short, and it follows basically directly on from what Jesus was saying before. Yeah, so this woman has 10 silver coins, right? And she's got them all together, but suddenly she realises she's lost one. She knows it's somewhere in the house. We've all been there before. You know it's in the house. You just have no clue where it is. And so she gets out her lamp. So this is late at night. She realises she's lost it. So she's staying up past her bedtime, like late into the night, to be able to find this coin, which sort of goes to show her diligence in doing it. She isn't doing this on like a Sunday afternoon when she's done all her other jobs. Like, she is staying up late to find this coin. She looks all over the house and then she finds it and she's really, really happy. She's so happy that she calls her friends over and says, "Hey, come on, let's celebrate. I've just found the coin that I lost." Yeah, it's really cool. So the first thing I wanted to find out was how much was one of these coins actually worth, because my translation just calls it 10 silver coins. And so I did some reading. Shocking, I know. And I found a PDF online where it's only like 13 pages long. I didn't read all of it, don't worry. I control F to the bit that I was trying to look for. But it's all about the different prices of coins referenced specifically in the New Testament, I think. It sort of goes through and tries to figure out what each of them was, how much it was worth, what it was made from, all the rest of it. And so I found the paragraph on the coins that are referenced in this passage. It says, "One of the basic silver coins of the Greeks was the drachma, which circulated throughout the Hellenistic Eastern Mediterranean in the wake of Alexander the Great and his successors. The New Testament parable of the lost coin refers to drachmas. What woman having 10 pieces of silver, if she loses one piece, doth not light her candle and sweep the house and seek diligently until she finds it?" It's King James translation, but it's actually pretty much the same. So that's what we've just read. We are also told that the temple tax paid annually by every Jewish male, even when he is dispersed throughout the world, was 2 drachmas, or a didrachm. The amount is established in the Old Testament as half a shekel. Some numismatists believe that the drachma was originally about equal in weight to a Roman denarius, blah 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 blah. So a 3rd century BC source says the drachma was the price of a sheep, or 1/5 the price of an ox. So that's essentially what I was going for. I didn't need to read out the whole paragraph, but I just properly nerded out over those coins. I found that really interesting. So essentially, it's the price of a sheep. So that isn't like meant to be this like like really deep sort of metaphor that connects this with the parable of the lost sheep. That's not the case. Like they didn't just measure their coins by, oh, it could buy you a sheep, but that's like the rough value of it. And if you think about how much value a sheep generates for you, sheep are actually very valuable because you shear them and you have like a stable income from that. It's sort of how you make your clothes and the rest of it. And so buying a sheep was an investment. I know people had a lot of sheep, but those would be accumulated over time. So actually it was quite valuable, and this one coin. It wasn't like she was losing like £5 down the side of the sofa. Like this is significantly more than that. And so this woman, she's lost those coins. She has lost this coin equivalent to a sheep or a fifth of an ox, whichever measurement you're more familiar with. And she lights a lamp and sweeps the whole house until she finds it. She finds it and she celebrates with her friends. And so why is Jesus telling us this? Well, he explains it in the very last verse. He says, "Just so I tell you, there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner who repents." And so the sinner in this story is the coin. Is the one coin who's fallen down the side of the sofa, or down the back of a cabinet, or I don't know how you'd get a coin down the back of a cabinet, but you know what I mean. The sinner is that one coin, the person who doesn't know Jesus, who's drifted far away from him maybe, the Christian who's sort of fallen away and lost that connection with Jesus, or someone who's just never known him in the first place. They are the one coin in this story. And so why is a coin used this time? Well, a coin's different to a sheep, because the sheep in the first time, it's sort of like quite a pastoral kind of loving image of the shepherd with his sheep. There's like a relationship image there. And so the parable of the lost sheep shows us that God has this desire for a relationship with us, and wants to rescue us and hold us safe and all the rest of it. This one changes the focus and gives us a new approach where we actually see that we're valuable to God. It isn't, obviously he loves us like a shepherd loves his sheep and he wants to care for us and look after us, but there's also an additional thing where we have value to him, we're useful to him, and that's not, oh, God's just like exploiting our usefulness to do things. Like, no, if God wanted to do things, he'd do things himself. You don't have to worry about God needing you to do things, but you have value to him still. You have value. You're about the price of one sheep or a fifth of an ox. Not really, but you have value to God, and you are useful to him. You can be used, if you're a coin, to go out and buy things, to invest in things, to build things up. And so this passage is basically teaching us that yes, God wants a relationship with us. That's why he comes to seek us. But he also comes to seek us because he has a purpose for us. He has something he wants to do with us. He has an investment he wants to make with us. And so, yeah, that's something that we just kind of have to keep our ears open to and listen out for. Yeah, so the next passage, the one we've got tomorrow, is the parable of the prodigal son. This is one of my absolute favourites. And that kind of ties what we were talking about, God wanting relationship with us yesterday, and ties together God having purpose and value for us today. And it kind of brings those two things together in the same parable, which is really cool. But I'll leave all of that for tomorrow. For now, I'll say goodbye. I'll go back to breathing my WD-40. Hope you all have wonderful days, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Bye bye bye.